Salut mon pote, comment ça va? I hope you're doing good. Welcome in this very first chapter of this A1 French course and congratulations for starting your French journey right here. I hope that you have seen the introduction video of this course and the introduction video of this Unit 0, okay? If you have, then let's get started right now. If you haven't, then please watch them first because they are useful to introduce the logic and the philosophy of this course. All right. In this very first chapter of Unité 0, we are going to review the French alphabet, some easy words that are very easy, like the first words that you are going to learn in French, and I am going to introduce you to the pronunciation and the phonetics of the French language. Like I have mentioned in the introduction, we are going to review pronunciation and phonetics little by little during the course of this course, okay, along the whole course. And today I am going to introduce you to phonetics, okay? Remember, this is a course that you must think about on the long run of learning to go eventually all the way to B1, B2 levels in the future. At the end of this chapter, you should be able to know how to read your first words in French. So I hope that you are excited about this. Let's get started right away by introducing the alphabet of French language. So in French, we have 26 lettres, so 26 letters, including 20 consonnes et 6 voyelles, so 20 consonants that are in black color right here, et 6 voyelles, so 6 vowels that are in red color right here. In this chapter, you don't really have to take notes or anything. I mostly want you to practice pronunciation, okay? In the future, I don't want you to be spelling words in English with the English pronunciation of the letters, even if it is similar between French and English. Even if the alphabet is the same, I want you to be pronouncing letters in French, because how are you supposed to seriously learn the language if you don't even spell and if you don't even pronounce the basic units of the words in the right way? So we're going to review the 26 letters right now with very easy words right here on the left. First letter is A. Par exemple, café, café, A. I think it's quite easy because this sound exists in almost every languages. B. B is an explosive sound, okay? B. Par exemple, bébé, a baby, bébé. Très bien. C. So the name of the letter is C. Depending on the words and the letters, this can sound like S, or more usually, this can sound like K, like in chocolat. Chocolat. Chocolate, right? So, K. This is also an explosive sound. By the way, you should repeat the words after me to practice the pronunciation. D. D. This is an explosive sound as well. D. Par exemple, salade. Salade. D. Très bien. Then a new vowel. E. For example, au revoir, which means bye-bye. Au revoir. Right now, you might be a bit confused and think, okay, how come this one is pronounced O when there's a here? How come this is pronounced wa, but there's not the letter A here? Okay, so don't worry, don't panic. French is not a phonetic language, which means that the sounds are not pronounced exactly like they are written. For example, Spanish is a phonetic language, like 99%. French is not, okay? So don't get confused about this sound or this sound. little by little, we are going to review all of them, along the course, but on top of this, as like gradually, as you will see more and more example, vocabulary, listening practice, etc., it will become natural to you. So this is your first contact with the alphabet. Don't panic. Again, E comme revoir. Au revoir. Très bien. F, so this is the sound F. This is not an explosive sound anymore. This is a sound that you can keep doing in time, like this. The letter is F. Par exemple, fruit. Some fruits. Fruit. Très bien. G. G. So in English, this is called G and this is called J. In French, this is the other way around. Like literally the other way around. So this is G and this is J. Okay? But this one, most of the time, is pronounced G. G. Par exemple, igloo. Igloo. G. Très bien. H. The letter H in French is not pronounced. So you can write it sometimes, but you don't hear it. For example, this one, a lobster, is homard. Homard. You don't hear the H at all. You just hear the sound O. Homard. I. I. New vowel. For example, merci, which means thank you. Merci. I. I was talking about this one. J. J. Don't say G, okay? There's no explosion right here. It's not G, it's not J, it's not J, it's J. J. Par exemple, journaliste. A journalist, right? Journaliste. Très bien. K. K. Par exemple, kiwi. Kiwi. So this sound sounds exactly like the one we had seen with C. Here we had chocolat and here kiwi. Same sound, same thing. L. L is one of the consonants, just like F, where you can keep doing the sound in time. L. Okay? Par exemple, lion. Lion. Très bien. L. M comme comme dans amour, which means love. Amour. Mou. Then N, like okay, I have put this here, like Nicolas, which is my name, Nicolas. Nice to meet you. N comme dans ni. Nicolas. N. The letter is N. Très bien. O comme dans copain. Copain. O. O. Copain means a friend. It's a word that is most usually used by kids, by children. Okay? Copain. P. P is the sound P. It's a really explosive sound. P comme dans piano. Piano. P. Pi. Très bien. Q. Q. Almost all the time, like in maybe 99% of the time, the letter Q in French is followed by U. Almost all the time. So this QU is pronounced K. So this is the third sound that is pronounced K. This one was K. This one was K. This one is que. Par exemple, question. Question. Une question, a question. Très bien. R. R. R is one of the difficult sounds to make in French for a lot of people. So I want you to keep in mind that two things. First of all, R is a sound that you can keep doing in time. Okay? It's not an explosive sound. For example, que, I cannot keep doing a que in time because it's an explosion of air out of my mouth, like que, like this. Same for b, d. But some sounds, I can keep doing them in time, like f, or j, or l, like this. R is one of them. I can do r, like this. It's important to understand this. R is not an explosive sound. You might hear in some places that this R sounds like a K a little bit. I know that some foreign teachers, they explain this. This is 100% wrong, and if you start speaking like this in French, no one will understand what you mean. Okay? So this is a sound that you must be able to keep doing in time. Okay? Second thing, it should be close to an L. Okay? Phonetically, L and R, they sound the same a bit, like you know, like L is just a very strict R. It's very similar, right? Très bien. So R should have some kind of fluidity in the ear. No, you have two ways to pronounce R. And both of them are okay. And one of them might be easier depending on your native language. Okay? So you can do, for example, a bit of an old school R that is very rolled with the tongue, like these kind of things. Like Spanish people, for example, or Hispanic speaking people. Usually they are very comfortable in doing this kind of sounds. If this is difficult for you, you can do so there's a big vibration of the tongue at the back of the mouth like this. Par exemple, ra, ra, ra. All of these pronunciations are okay. Ra. Okay? If it seems difficult for you, don't panic. Like I explained to you, it will become more and more natural along the course. Ensuite, S. S. This is the sound S, like this. Par exemple, s'il te plaît, which means please. Like, please, can you help me? S'il te plaît. S'il. S. Très bien. T. T. Par exemple, télévision. TV, right? Télévision. T. Très bien. U. No, this is the second sound that is difficult for a lot of people. This is not U. This is U. For example, the English language does not have this sound. Okay? Chinese people, they have it. Japanese people, they have it, for example. English people don't have it. All right? So if English is your primary tongue, this is maybe the first time that you discover this sound right here. So this is not U, and this is not bus. This is U. U. We are going to practice this sound over this course, but I can help you a little bit right now to introduce you how to approach this sound. One way to approach it, if this is difficult for you, is to put your mouth exactly in the position as if you were going to whistle, like this. You keep your mouth in the same position. Even if you cannot whistle, you just pretend, okay? So you put your mouth like this. Keep it like this. And once your lips are in this position, then you try to pronounce the sound E. E. The trick is that to make a E sound, your mouth stretches a lot, right? As you can see here, E. So when you try to pronounce the E sound, but at the same time, instead of stretching your mouth, you force it to be closed, like you are whistling, it creates the U sound that we are trying to reach. For example, U, U. It's not a perfect U, but it's still way better than OU. Okay? So you can practice this. U, U. Très bien. Then, V. 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 Par exemple, voir. To see something. Voir. V. V. This one is called W, which means W, right? Oh, which means actually, sorry, double V. W. W, and it's pronounced like W. W. Par exemple, sandwich. Same word as in English. Sandwich. W. Which. Très bien. X. X. This is the sound X. X. Par exemple, taxi. Taxi. X. Très bien. Now, last vowel and a very strange one because this is what we call a half vowel, half consonant. So I have put it in red here, but by right, it would be correct to put it like half red, half black. Why is it half a vowel, half a consonant? Because sometimes we use it to make the sound E, exactly the same sound as the letter E. So sometimes they have exactly the same sound, E. But sometimes it can be the sound Y instead, just like yaourt. Ya. Yaourt. So you can see ya, it's kind of a E, but there's kind of a consonant sound as well. It's half-half. Okay? Très bien. Oh, and the name is Y, which is completely different than in English. You call it Y. In French, Y, which means a Greek I, like a I from Greece, the country Greece. A Greek I. Y. Y. Très bien. Et la dernière. Oh yeah, sorry. So this one is an example. Gym. Gym. So, example of Y as a consonant. Yaourt. Yaourt. Example of Y pronounced as a vowel. Gym. Gym. Très bien. In French, gym means gymnastics. It doesn't mean the gym to work out. Okay? Pay attention to something here. I am not saying gym. You have to take out of your mind the English idea of adding some kind of j, of explosion to sound that don't need it. Okay? This is not gym, this is gym. Gym. Très bien. Et le dernier, the last one, Z. 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 Comme dans zèbre. Zèbre. A zebra. Ok? Très bien. Congratulations. Now, I want you to take a look at this vocabulary right here and practice one more time a little bit of reading. So for each word, I am going to read it. I want you to repeat after me, and then you show me which drawing is fitting the word that is written. Okay? Par exemple, café, café. Which drawing is it? Obviously, this one, right? Café. Très bien. Bébé. 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 Très bien. If you need to, don't hesitate to pause the video to take more time to repeat after me. This might seem a bit dull or a bit silly to do this, but keep in mind that this is your introduction to really pronouncing the sounds like French people, okay? This is a very, 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 very important objective. And right now is the introduction of something huge that you are going to study over weeks and weeks and months and maybe years and years. And I hope years and years, okay? So don't think it's silly to be practicing pronunciation like this, okay? It's actually very important to take the time to do this. Chocolat. 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 Très bien. Salade. 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 Très bien. Au revoir. Au revoir. Au revoir. Bye bye. Fruit. 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 Des fruits. Très bien. Igloo. 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 Très bien. Restaurant. Restaurant. Un restaurant. A restaurant. Très bien. On continue. We keep going, same thing. Journaliste. 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 Très bien. Kiwi. 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 Très bien. Lion. 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 Un lion. Très bien. Amour. 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 Très bien. Piano. 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 Ok. Question. No, careful. This is not question. There's no U here. I told you Q et U, they make one sound together. Que, not que. Okay? This is not question. This is not question. This is question. Question. Une question. Ok? Bonjour. 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 Which means hello. Hi. Bonjour. Copain. 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 Some friends, right? We saw this. Copain. Très bien. Last one. Last vocabulary. Rat. Rat should... you should pay attention to one thing here, is that I am not saying rat. Okay? There's a T here. I am not pronouncing it. So in French, it is very, very common to have consonant at the end of the words that you don't hear. Here, for example, I am not pronouncing rat. I am saying rat. Exactly as if there was no T. Rat. Un rat. Bus. Again, this is not bus. This is bus. U, not ou. U, bus. Télévision. 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 Une télévision. Taxi. Taxi. Un taxi. Ok. Sandwich. 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 Careful, I am not saying sandwich like in English. Sandwich. Un sandwich. Yaourt. At the end, rt. Yaourt. Yaourt. Un yaourt. Some yogurt. Zèbre. Zèbre. Un zèbre. Matin. Matin. The morning. Ok? Très très bien. Congratulations. Now, as I was mentioning before, in this chapter we are not only going to review the French alphabet, but we are also going to review the French phonetics. Okay? So this will just be an introduction to the concept of phonetics and pronunciation and why it is important to study it. Okay? But we are not going to go in detail or anything right here. This is just an introduction to the logic and the concept because, like I told you before, we are going to do a lot of pronunciation all along the course. Okay? This is very important. One of the ideas to practice pronunciation is that the better will be your accent, the better your accent will be, the more confident, the more comfortable you will be at speaking. Of course, because when you will be speaking, first of all, you will feel like you are in control of what you are saying. Second of all, people will actually understand what you are saying. And third of all, people will say, wow, you have such a great accent compared to all the other foreigners I've talked to. Where did you learn such a great way of speaking like this? Wow, nice, you speak really well, etc. So, as you will get more confident and more comfortable, obviously you will speak more and you will be less shy. So, if you speak more, then you will learn faster. If you learn faster, you will have a better accent. If you have a better accent, blah, 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 okay? So, as you can see, practicing pronunciation is absolutely useful, even though, trust me, I know that it can be troublesome, it can be painful sometimes, it can be boring, it can seem silly, and all of these things I know 100%. Don't worry, I know firsthand actually. Okay, I may even know better than you how boring it is sometimes to learn pronunciation. But as much as I know how boring it can be, I also know how useful it is. All right, so I ask you to trust me here. On top of this, one thing that I see very often and that maybe you've seen as well and that everyone have seen is people who have this kind of way to master the language. They study very hard, they study a lot, they have a very strong and powerful grammar, they understand all the rules, but when they start speaking, they have a very weak pronunciation. So if we are talking about physical shape, let's say, you would not want to look like this, I imagine, because you would like the upper body and lower body to be balanced. I think it's the same for everyone. Well, it's the same for the language, actually. You want your grammar and your pronunciation to be balanced. And it's very nice to know all the grammar and all the vocabulary. But if you cannot pronounce it well, then you're not going to go very far. Similarly, if you have the best pronunciation in the world, but you have zero grammar, zero vocabulary, and you're unable to make a correct sentence, well, you can pronounce as much as you want, but people will never understand what you mean, right? So we need a balance here between the grammar and the pronunciation. Okay? Très bien. We've seen this from the beginning of this video. We've seen this thing. This is the French alphabet, okay? We can call this like the letter alphabet because this is an alphabet of letters. But we also have what we can call a phonetic alphabet. Now, I want to warn you. Along this course, I am not asking you to learn the phonetic alphabet, to learn the drawings and the symbols. I'm not asking you this because this would be going too far. But I want you to understand why do we have a phonetic alphabet. I will not ask you to learn it by heart or anything, but I want you to understand the logic, to understand why do we use phonetics, okay? And I'm sure it will click in your mind very easily. Look at these words right here. So listen to my pronunciation. Une fête. Une fête. A party. La lumière. La lumière. The light. Je t'aime. Je t'aime. Which is the way to say I love you. So that's one key vocabulary that you can write down. De la neige. De la neige. Some snow. Okay? Pay attention to these sounds right here. Fête est, lumière est, je t'aime est, de la neige est. What do you notice here? All of these sounds are exactly the same. They are pronounced in the same way. Est. But they are not written in the same way, which means that in French, different spellings can make the same sound. This is why we need an alphabet of sound. This is why we need a phonetic alphabet. Because if I write the letter E or the letter AI or the letters EI, maybe I don't know how it's pronounced or what sound it's supposed to be in this word. But if I use a special drawing, then I can know that this drawing refers to the sound E. Okay? So what I meant earlier is that I am not going to ask you to learn these drawings. It's irrelevant to the course, so don't worry. But I want you to understand why sometimes you will see this kind of drawings appear and why it's useful when we are talking about pronunciation. Okay? Other example, look at this. Un examen. Un examen. Un examen. Demain. Demain. Tomorrow. Une fourchette. Une fourchette. A fork. Now what do you notice? These sounds are all different. Un examen. Et. Demain. Fourchette. E. I have three different sounds here. E. So, amazingly enough, the exact same letter, the exact same spelling, can be pronounced in different ways, depending on the words, depending on the other letters around it. Okay? So again, that's why we need these little drawings to represent the sounds, so we know what we are talking about. Okay? Très bien. We are now going to review the phonetic alphabet, so it will look like a lot, but please don't panic. I am just showing you the whole alphabet at once, just so you know what will happen to you in the future, basically, okay? We are not going to learn everything today. We are not going to learn everything at once. We are going to learn everything. Actually, you are going to learn everything little by little over the course of many chapters, and it will, as much as possible, it will happen naturally, peacefully, okay? But I still like to show you everything in the beginning, so you've seen the whole thing, you know how it will look like, okay? Let's go. These are all the different vowel sounds in French. So here there are no consonants, there are only vowels, okay? we have the sounds I, U, OU. Then we have matching kind of half vowels, half consonants. Y, W. Then we have a lot of vowels that have two different modalities, something like this. We have E, O, O. And then we have A. In the past, or in some provinces in France, we have two different A sounds, but I think it's irrelevant and no one really distinguishes them anymore nowadays. So I don't count this one. And then we have sounds that will be very tricky in the future. It's hard for everyone, so don't worry. We're going to spend a lot of time on them in the future. These are voyelles nasales. Nasal means from the nose. So these are the three vowels that make sound that comes from your nose. Because when you pronounce these sounds, you can feel the little bones in your nose vibrating. This is en, on, un. Okay, I'm not going in detail right now. I just want to show you the whole thing. Ok. Et ensuite, on a les consonnes. Donc, P, B, T, D, K, G, F, V, S, Z, Sh, J, L, R, M, N, and then a special one that comes from English and that we use also in French, but only in English words. It's like ng, like camping, camping, which is an English word. Okay? Just a few examples. I want you to repeat after me. We're going to review one example for each of the different sounds that I told you about. The purpose here is not to learn everything, is not to focus on the phonetic, on the drawing or anything. I just want you to read the words right here and practice pronouncing them after me. Okay? This is to introduce new sounds maybe to your lips and your tongue. Ok, c'est parti. Fille, fille. Payer, payer. Très bien. So this is the sound I, and this is the matching half consonant, half vowel. Y. Fille, payer. U comme musique, musique, and the matching half vowel, y, like nuit, y, nuit. Ou, comme une route, ou, and the matching half vowel, ou, comme bois, bois. Très bien. Then the nose vowel I was telling you about. En comme entendre, to hear something. Entendre. On comme saumon, saumon. Un comme moulin, moulin. Très bien. Ensuite, on a et comme T, T, est comme tête, the head, tête. Comme vieux, vieux, old, like an old person, vieux. Comme cœur, the heart, cœur. O comme homard, homard. O comme corps, homard, corps. It might seem difficult to distinguish the difference between them, Don't worry, like I was saying, for now, I just want you to practice repeating after me. The detail of all of this sound, don't worry about it. We are going to see it in the future, each of them one by one. Rat, un rat. Again, if I ever hear you pronounced rat, I will be disappointed. So please, rat. Très bien. Les consonnes maintenant, the consonants. B comme bonbon, P comme papa. Okay? By the way, there's a logic here why the consonants are by 2. Okay? It's because every time the P and B, for example, are basically the same sound, but usually one of them is very tense and one of them is very relaxed. For example, P is very tense. B is very relaxed. So you can consider that P and B are just the tense version and the relaxed version of the same sound. P is very tense. You can feel your whole body contracting when you say P. But then if you relax the P, it becomes like B. P, B. Okay? And that's the same logic for almost all of them. So that's why they are grouped by 2. T comme tante. Tante. D comme doudou. Doudou. Très bien. K comme kaki. Kaki. G comme gargouille. Gargouille. V comme voir. Voir. F comme foire. Foire. S comme souci. Souci. Z comme zizou. Zizou. This is the most famous football player of France. If you are a bit younger, maybe nowadays the most famous is Kylian Mbappé. But before Kylian Mbappé, the ultimate legend is Zinedine Zidane, and his surname is Zizou. So just a bit of culture for you. Ch comme dans Chine. Chine. J comme dans gym. Donc Chine, gym. Très bien. L comme Lille. Lille, which is a nice city in the north of France. Lille. R comme rire. Rire, to laugh. N comme nounou. Nounou. M comme maman. Maman. And finally, this weird ng sound that comes from English. So, camping, par exemple. Camping. You find it in the words, like I was saying, that we have borrowed from the English language. Okay? Très bien. Congratulations, that's it. We have reached the end of this first chapter, but the course might be over, but you have homeworks to do. Obviously, you don't have a lot of homeworks because, I mean, this is just the very beginning, so there is not much to do. But you still have a bit of homework, pronunciation homework, so please go take a look at the homework sheet in this chapter, and I'm counting on you to do the homeworks seriously. Okay? In the next chapter, so chapitre suivant, we are going to study actual vocabulary and sentences and everything, okay? Today was just an introduction to the pronunciation. Next chapter will be a bit more practical, let's say. So we are going to review, obviously, greeting and salutation, how to introduce yourself in French, and a very quick introduction to the grammar and the conjugation in French. Next chapter will be very big, very long, a lot of informations. So before you start next chapter, please be sure that you are fully rested, that you have drink 2 liters of coffee, and that your brain is fully available, okay? Because it's going to be a lot of information. Again, congratulations for starting your French journey. We are going to study a lot together in the course of the future chapters and everything. So good luck et à bientôt. Ciao mon pote.